Sometimes you just have to have a little fun with what you're doing. If you walk around all serious, stoic, and emotionally constipated all the time, what's the fun in that?
True.
Yeah, that little truck, it's been collecting dust for the last year. First time we brought it out, we tried to attach a little camera to it and roll it around in the woods, but it was so bouncy and shaky that the picture quality was
So.
pretty much awful.
Yeah.
Awful's a good word for it. So we thought we'd repurpose it today and do a Bigfoot DoorDash with it.
Sounds good.
Or Uber Eats for Bigfoot treats
Something
or
like
something
that.
like that. But anyway, it's long overdue. We had a week of cold and nasty, and then
Busy.
it thawed out and wet and mucky.
We're getting through it. This year's going to be better, I'm telling you.
Been busy this past week or so trying to get other stuff caught up, but we're out here today and got some things to bring for them.
We've made some little visits, but nothing filmable.
So you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Well, let's go.
It's always good to get out here and at least say hello and check things out, but it's a lot nicer when we can stroll at our paces.
It's a little breezy out here today, so hopefully the microphones won't give us too much of a fit when the wind hits against it. Hoping that the trees would kind of block some of it. So something I've been working on that I haven't quite completely got put together yet, but I want to present it to you here in the near future. How many of you are familiar with the terms Pangea, Lemuria? Of course, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar when you hear the word Atlantis, supercontinents, lost continents, histories of the earth that go back millions upon millions of years, and how it's all kind of tying into now and tying into what is going to be, and how that all relates to all of this. But I think you'll find it extremely interesting. So I want you to kind of keep that in the back of your mind.
A lot of individuals have asked us about their history and about how it connects on a timeline, and I feel like Anku particularly has been little by little trying to pull that back so that we can see it, and the information that's coming is just incredible.
Some of you may be familiar with the term genetic memory, and some of you maybe not. But when you have an ancestral tie to ancient things through your genetic memory, it resurfaces at times. Certain things trigger it. It's almost like you have a knowing or a deja vu. Sometimes it's that overwhelming feeling of being homesick for a place you've never been, or at least that you've never been in this iteration of yourself. And that's another aspect that we're going to bring in to the Pangea, the supercontinents video when we get that all put together. Just little pieces of information here and there as we go along today, kind of get your mind
Ready.
and your mental taste bud set for it.
Yeah. And those of you that have been with us for a while know that sometimes the information can be dense. Sometimes it's very light, but I do believe that they give it to us as we're ready for it. And there it is.
Well, we've got quite a bit of stuff to set up, so we're going to take a pause and we'll be back in just a second. All of the Valentine treats that are out here today were donated by Joyce, and I want to say thank you, Joyce, for that. And we have got all kinds of goodies here. Got some Valentine candies and peanut butter, kiwi fruit, a bag of cornbread with ham and beans, some apple cinnamon crisps, more apples and peanut butter there. There's sardines, some little mandarin oranges, the sausages, A little container of peanuts. One of Junior's favorites. There's some jalapenos in that bag. Moon pies and jelly beans. Got apples up in the tree, popcorn, and another one of the things that Joyce sent, a little Valentine lollipop. Standing here, and I noticed over there was a peanut butter jar. I'm going to take a look at it real quick. Now that's one of those nut and fruit mix bags in a crushed peanut butter jar.
Oh. I'm going to walk up here and grab this. Right next to it, I'm noticing there's a small glyph. There's a Y, or it could be considered a triangle. Both. I hear both. Just right up the side. Whomever this is always insists on
Crushing the jar.
I guess
Crushing your drink can when you're
right,
done
I
with
was
it.
gonna say, kind of like some people like to crush their drink can. A lot of times when we do find these things, they're sitting right by either little glyphs, little X's, like they have their little spots marked.
Well, let's go back there and get the bucket and we'll get on with it.
All right.
Take my DoorDash truck with me. That way if we want to roll it around in the woods after a while, we can.
DoorDash truck.
Maybe it'll pique the curiosity of the little ones out here. I'm seeing something way over there on the ground.
Well, it is hard to tell. We never know. It's always something.
We were talking about genetic memory and how some people are connected to certain things and others feel no connection whatsoever. And I think ancestrally, through different people's DNA, it's a small fraction or a part of what their ancestors were experiencing, involved in, or...
Well, if you think about it too, how often have you been or met individuals that inherently know how to work with metal or work with wood a certain way, or work, a lot of times it'll show up in a trade, or it'll show up in just a talent. And it seems to me that a lot of that is tied to that genetic memory, where you just have that knowing because it's built into you, even if you've never been taught that skill.
Well, it looks like our bottle collector's been at it again.
Bless him. And it doesn't seem to matter if it's a drink bottle or if it's peanut butter or anything else. The labels are always gone.
So I just think he kind of finds that the sound of crunching the bottle, something about it, it intrigues him, he likes it.
Yeah, mostly this one's been at the top. This one must not have had the sound that he wanted, because normally, especially if the lids are off, he'll sit there and flat squish the middle to get that sound, and this is minimal compared to that. And big old, I don't know, is that a triangle, I guess? Interesting. pinned? No?
No, it's just free hanging.
It's interesting.
But all the top of it's broke off.
Huh. Big ol' X on the left. Is that a new one, or is that one that just looks different to me, maybe? Maybe there's an extra leaner or something. We get to seeing so much of this sometimes. Have to think. Another broken.
Well, this one's definitely pinned.
Speaking of arches, we noticed in the Ouachita video, 2 videos ago, although we had some wind interference, but when we walked under the arches, there was a static.
Electromagnetic static interference going underneath those arches out there.
And we've done the EMF tests in times past, which maybe we should do them again, but under the arches where they spike. So there's distinct purpose to these arches, and I do believe that they use the electromagnetic energy for these that are gifted in being able to travel energetically and so on, which one would say that all of them can. I don't believe that based on what I've been given, but let's say the majority can.
Just trying to be mindful of the wind and keep my back to it so it doesn't distort the microphone today.
Yeah, it's making it hard because it's kind of circling a little. Sure enough. Oh, come on.
Big footprints all around the base of this.
Those limbs all
Another one
feel
there.
intentionally stacked too.
All of that's crushed down.
This is somebody's spot.
Sit there on their butt and kick out with their heels and make those ruts.
Just all the way around. But with that being said, I think it's time as a species for us to start becoming more we-minded, all-minded, one-minded. And I feel like the people are really working toward helping in understanding that, because it is the way that they understand everything. All my rocks are down.
No stone unturned, huh?
Right, and then this looks to me, I think it's the young ones coming back here and messing with this. That stump steadily keeps getting worse. I was looking to see if I saw, but I was feeling like a knuckle print, or maybe, getting the sense of somebody doing this while they had a one hand or the other in there.
This is cool. Moon
Okay.
pies and tennis balls.
Well, there we go. We've been periodically finding those small peanut butter cups over here, and thought maybe the babies were using it. They don't sit far apart in what we've discovered, but they have a little distance in where they choose. And it seems to me that they get... Is that triangle?
Yeah, that's what I'm standing here looking at.
I remember the stick poking up, the Y stick, but now I don't see it and I see the triangle.
Clock keeps buzzing over.
Looks like the sky is trying to break open. Again.
Yeah, all that's changed again. Well, let's go ahead and get this one set up, and then I'm going to run that little truck around for a little bit.
Right here and to your left, if you'll just glance for me and see, I feel like I'm seeing somebody standing back there. I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing. You're a little taller.
I do. I see a black
I'm going to let
head
you do
and shoulders
that
back
and
there.
zoom around while I'm setting the tree.
Get all that all right?
Oh, I think so. Trying to keep my overshirt from bumping this mic. I'm apologizing in advance if...
That kind of keeps the sardine juice away.
Right? Gotta love them. I feel like they've been requesting more sardine, but maybe... Well, they're growing too, especially these young ones.
Still see.
Over to your right, Ken,
Like a
on Skunk Island.
shoulder and side of a head. I can't tell. Hopefully the zoom will pick something up.
Whew.
You get all that done?
Yeah. Covered in sardine juice. It's my favorite, you know. The things we don't do for our Sasquatch families. You know, they can probably smell those sardines
Oh, yeah.
about.
I was scanning around out here, trying to.
Kind of felt this feeling of something coming in, you know, so I think they were coming closer. A lot of silhouette.
Well, once again, it's pretty much a identical version of the first
Yeah.
tree. Got their beans and cornbread, some kiwi, apple cinnamon snacks, apples, sardines, got their sausage, the big Hershey's Kiss and Valentine's from Joyce, and
Hot
jelly
peppers.
beans, got peanut butter, jalapenos, moon pies, popcorn, a little bit of everything. A little bit for everyone's taste buds.
Yeah. And we have been noticing, it's been what, 2 or 3 videos where we've caught sight of the little ones sitting.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up those pictures. I had found one and shared it with Kevin Duffy, and then in which video was it? Anyway,
last one?
he found them again in another screenshot. So I'll put those up side by side.
Part of what I feel is what we would consider a point of evolution or growth. For us, it's entirely different than it is for these, I would
There's
say,
a big wood knock right there.
yeah. But it's entirely different for us as humans than it is for, say, nature spirits or the realm of nature, is a better way to put it. Because it's not isolated to
He has not moved. That mass, it's just a big...
standing there. Yeah. But it's not isolated to one form of nature or another, to include the people. But I feel like part of that evolution for them is also in being able to display themselves and being free to be who they are, no differently than we are aspiring to be free to be who we are naturally. So it's kind of an interesting observation that I hope we can explore a little more.
I'm just about ready to walk over the top of it.
Sure enough. Now I would say I feel like I'm hearing Sabaz, or the one that Anku is referenced as Nolan, but it's Sabaz Nolan. He's got, this is I'm going to say a male foot because it has a very narrow heel and wider here, but he's a pretty good sized fellow, but he's kind of, the 1 or 2 times I've caught sight of him, seems to be really long and lanky, kind of like a athletic build, like a ball player.
Like a big,
Very tall ball player.
all stretched out basketball player. Yeah.
And Dobby's not like that. His brother is the opposite. His brother is like a great big linebacker. Kind of wondered if Lily's little bear was still back there. We feel like we've spent the entire last summer and winter fussing about weather, so we generally don't fuss about these things.
Not too much.
I think what we're fussing about is things that are out of our control ultimately, and just feeling sometimes a little aversion to going through the process. We like to have our way like most of us do.
Oh, now when the mosquitoes were the size of albatross,
Well, yeah.
I'm definitely going to fuss about that.
Come on, guys. I heard you back here, so you can't be far.
Come on, guys, you ready?
Want to play?
Ha! There you go.
Beautiful. We have sardines. Man, I see everywhere. There is so much to learn and understand about these guys, and yet at the same time, I feel that a lot of times they say keep it simple, that they actually are very straightforward and I don't want to say predictable, but at least patterned, like, consistent in their behavior. We feel honored that they're even, the young ones particularly, are even allowed to communicate with us the way they are. Has this been back here? This big old X right in front of you?
No.
Sobe.
It's out of camera shot now, but now there's a big raven back there circling around.
I was going to say, I just heard Sobe. Sobe here. Well, hello, brother. He's also an amazing individual. I couldn't possibly say that I had a favorite ever. And so proud to be a part of their, or have them as part of our extended family. I guess both. There's always going to be a lot about what we say, what we feel, what they interject, that a number of individuals will not get or understand, or maybe we're not on the same page of the book, and that's okay. But they are incredible. Amazing teachers, helpers, healers. Somebody's been sitting right here. Picking. Piddling.
Kind of like a staging area for who's going to get to the peanut butter first.
Looks like almost like a racetrack right there, like somebody's been running in circles. Although we have seen that sometimes the boys will roll and play, and they love to play. And the other thing that they've really been impressing upon our awareness is that life is not that serious. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be an adventure, and it's meant to explore. And we get so stuck in being right, or, having these answers, that we miss so much.
Get so concerned about reaching the destination that you completely blow off the journey.
Yeah. And it truly is about the journey. And thank you all for being with us on our journey, as I'm thinking about that, because it's a privilege.
Well, you know what else I love?
What? Me?
Coffee, and I'm ready.
Wait. You forgot what?
I'm ready for some coffee.
You are so harsh.
I'm not harsh.
It's a good thing I love you.
Well, I love you too.
Happy Valentine's.
more than coffee, and that's saying a lot.
Almost 35 years. It's a good feeling to be able to still say that.
All right, guys, we appreciate you tagging along with us today, and we're going to get back up to the house and get our afternoon chores done. We'll see you farther down the trail.
Thank you.